From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day, this is Dateline Malacañang, and here are the news. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday said the partnership between United States equity firm Cerberus and South Korea's HD Hyundai Heavy Industries in the strategically located Subic Bay will allow the Philippines to regain its footing in the global shipbuilding industry. During the announcement of the partnership in Malacañang, the president welcomed the two global companies to the Philippines and expressed optimism about the project's potential impact on the country's economy. In his message, President Marcos noted that since Cerberus' takeover of the shipyard, it has been hard at work to revitalize the shipyard and even attracted other tenants, including Sancom, the world's leading subsea cable company, and V2X, a global logistics corporation. Cerberus is a global alternative investment firm with assets across credit, private equity, and real estate strategies. Hyundai, one of the largest producers of ships in the world, already performs ship repairs and maintenance at the Aguila Subic yard, which Cerberus acquired in 2022 after its former owner went bankrupt. The chief executive said the HD Hyundai's foray into the country would usher in a new era of shipbuilding in the Philippines. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the announcement of the partnership between Cerberus and HD Hyundai in Subic.
Thank you very much to the Special Assistant for Investment and Economic Affairs, Secretary Frederick Go. Of course, Your Excellency, ma'am, the U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Ambassador Mary Kay Carlson, the Korean Ambassador to the Philippines, His Excellency Lee Sang-won, the Senior Managing Director of Cerberus Capital Management, Alexander Bernard, the Chief Executive Officer of HD Hyundai Shipbuilding and Offshore Engineering, Dr. Sung-Joon Kim, my fellow workers in government, partners from the private sector, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Let me start by congratulating Cerberus and HD Hyundai Heavy Industries on the finalization of this lease agreement on a portion of the Aguila Subic shipyard. This undertaking and your company's investment plans in the Philippines are testaments to the strong and enduring relationship among the Philippines, South Korea, and the United States. We welcome HD Hyundai's investment that will not only open new doors for our offshore wind industry, but will also bring maritime manufacturing back to Subic and eventually restore the glory days of shipbuilding to our shores. Not only would it generate thousands of jobs, but also enable the transfer of critical skills and improve the Philippines' position in the global market. The Philippines is also quite excited to see the realization of Cerberus's plans, including its interest in microelectronics, semiconductors, and critical metals. Since your acquisition of the Aguila Subic shipyard last April 2022, the company has been hard at work to revitalize the shipyard. And a testament to the robust operations, Cerberus has attracted other tenants as well, including Subcom, which is the world's leading subsea cable company, and V2X, a global logistics corporation. And you have worked closely with our Philippine Navy to help establishing a world-class operating base for our Navy. With the impeccable track record that you have, Cerberus will be a powerful force that will spur growth and development across many sectors. The investments that will be created hereafter are especially beneficial to Subic because these will strengthen the Freeport area's vital role as a hotspot for industrial, commercial, and other economic activities. The Subic Freeport Zone is one of the most developed and sought-after investment areas in this country. But it can be greater than what it is with the right investment and with the right innovative projects and approach. With your help, we can further accelerate the progress of Subic, cementing its role as a driver of growth for the rest of the country. We hope that your investment plans will also redound to the upskilling and reskilling of the Filipino workforce, enabling us to adapt to new technologies required by industry. We encourage HD Hyundai to partner with our Commission on Higher Education and Technical Skills Education Development Authority, or TESDA, in finding projects for the development of our very talented workforce. They will not only bring their skills to your companies, but the brand of dedication, compassion, and hard work that has become the trademark of the Filipino worker. HD Hyundai's initial focus on the development of offshore wind platforms bodes well for our goal to transitioning to renewable energy. In fact, we have put in place several policies to hasten the rollout of offshore wind projects in the country. Of course, as HD Hyundai is recognized as one of the largest producers of ships in the world, we look forward to the opportunity to usher in a new era of shipbuilding in the country. In 2022, the Philippines was the 7th largest shipbuilder in the world, contributing almost 400,000 gross tons of newly built sea and ocean-going vessels. This is a far cry from our capacity in the past, and even far behind the output of shipbuilding behemoths like South Korea and Japan. With this initiative of Cerberus and HD Hyundai, we will have a fresh start and a strong foundation in realizing our vision to be amongst the largest and most consequential shipbuilders in the world. We have established our position as the largest source of competent and able seafarers in the world. The next logical step for us is to ensure that the ships run by Filipinos can also be made by Filipinos. However, great ambitions like this require hard work. It requires dedication and perseverance. We must dedicate the work that we do moving forward, not just for the fulfillment of our grand dream for the development of our country, but also for the realization of the dreams of every ordinary Filipino. It is about the ambitious dreams of grounded individuals like yourselves, always eager to take on the challenge and come up with the next big idea that will change the industry and the entire nation. This is the kind of progress and cooperation and innovation that I want the Philippines to have. This is the Bagong Pilipinas, or the new Philippines that we continue to build. And I hope in the very near future that we will be measuring the success of this very grand project. And I congratulate all of those in the private sector and in the public sector who have been involved. I know that it has been a long process and not a simple one, but nonetheless, we are here today to celebrate the official opening of this project. Thank you, and a pleasant day to you all. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday led the discussion on the government's comprehensive archipelagic defense concept during the Command Conference of the Philippine Army, or PA, in Malacañang Palace. In a social media post, the Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, said the Commander-in-Chief led the discussion on how the Army can contribute to the country's new defense posture, which aims to secure Philippine seas and territories. Monday. The PCO added that updates on improving the capabilities of the military through the PA Capability Development Program were also discussed. Aside from the President, also in the meeting were Defense Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr., Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP Chief of Staff Romeo Bronner Jr., and Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, along with the top officials of the Army. Under the new defense strategy, the country's military pivots to a more outward-looking defense posture and must focus on strengthening other services of the AFP, not just the Philippine Navy. The Philippines adopted the new defense strategy and China's aggression in the West Philippine Sea.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday directed the Land Transportation Office, or LTO, to strictly implement its policies against dealers who are unable to quickly release motor vehicles plates. In a sectoral meeting with officials of the Department of Transportation, or DOTR, and the LTO, the President told transport officials that they should be strict about their policies to ensure a zero backlog on new license plates as far as motor vehicles are concerned. During the meeting, LTO Chief Assistant Secretary Vigor Mendoza said they have already addressed the backlog of 245,975 pairs for the new license plates of four-wheeled motor vehicle plates. Mendoza said most of the license plates are in the possession of car dealers who have yet to turn them over to their customers, adding that they have already issued around 130 show cause orders to dealers to explain their failure to deliver the license plates to their respective buyers. Assistant Secretary Mendoza said they already met with motorcycle traders with the agreement to strictly follow the 11-day period to release the license plates to their buyers from the date of purchase. He added they will also continue to press for immediate release of license plates. Mendoza said the LTO has launched a hotline number 0929-292-0865 where motorcycle riders can report their erring traders should they fail to comply with the 11-day period for the release of the plates.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday approved the internet-based procurement method to shorten and reduce government procurement process during a sectoral meeting in Malacañang Palace, significantly bolstering the national digitalization thrust. In a press briefing, Dennis Santiago, Procurement Service, Department of Budget and Management, or PSDBM, Executive Director, said in the e-marketplace, the Bids and Awards Committee does not have to be present during the procurement process. Santiago added that the usual 26 calendar days of 136 calendar days for the procurement of goods can be done in as short as 3 days. Electronic Marketplace or e-marketplace is a digital platform that facilitates buying and selling activities between multiple buyers and sellers. It serves as a virtual marketplace where transactions and interactions occur electronically. Santiago said the e-marketplace already have numerous products in the system. Government procuring entities will have to select from those products and then already make an order. Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman said the e-marketplace, which is similar to popular e-commerce platforms like Lazada, Amazon, and Shopee, is part of the Marcos administration's efforts to digitalize the government's procurement system. Pangandaman said it will address concerns on the procurement process, which has been identified as the biggest bottleneck in budget utilization of agencies. In addition to the shortened procurement process, PSDBM also sees a 5 to 15% cut in government expenses.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has declared July of every year as Philippine Agriculturists Month. in order to honor local agriculturists and raise awareness of the significance of the agricultural sector. Under Proclamation Number 544, signed on May 10 by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, on behalf of the President, the celebration of the Philippine Agriculturists Month will engage professional agriculturists in agricultural advocacy, policy research and formulation, and provide an avenue for enterprise building, communications training, and community development. The Department of Agriculture or DA, the Professional Regulation Commission or PRC, and its Board of Agriculture are directed to lead, coordinate, and supervise the observance of Philippine Agriculturists Month and identify the programs, activities, and projects for the annual celebration. The Manila School of Agriculture, meanwhile, will provide theoretical and practical education to skilled farmers and overseers and promote agricultural development in the Philippines through observation, experiment, and investigation toward deeper awareness and understanding of Philippine agriculture, thereby paving the way for agriculture to formally become an educational course in the Philippines. All agencies and instrumentalities of the national government, including government-owned or controlled corporations, government financial institutions, state universities and colleges, as well as local government units and the private sector, are told and encouraged to render the necessary support and assistance.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday welcomed Ambassador Bayramov Atadurdi, non-resident ambassador of Turkmenistan, to the Philippines as he presented his letter of credence in a ceremony at the President's Hall in Malacañang Palace. In a short message, Ambassador Atadurdi extended his well wishes to the Filipino people in achieving a healthy and prosperous nation, as well as reaffirmed Turkmenistan's commitment to further intensify partnership with the Philippines in areas of mutual cooperation for the benefit of both nations. In response, President Marcos Jr. expressed enthusiasm for the two countries' future cooperation as the ambassador commenced his diplomatic duty in the Philippines. The chief executive further conveyed interest to explore more areas of partnership with Turkmenistan in the coming years.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday received the letters of credence of the non-resident ambassadors of the Dominican Republic and Republic of Nicaragua to the Philippines in a ceremony at the President's Hall in Malacañang Palace. In their brief messages, Ambassador Jaime Yorquis Francisco of the Dominican Republic conveyed his sincerest gratitude to the President for the warm and hospitable welcome that the government has extended to his delegation. The Dominican Republic ambassador expressed his country's readiness to explore more ways to further deepen its diplomatic and bilateral relations with the Philippines. Meanwhile, Ambassador Sandy Annabel Davila Sandoval of the Republic of Nicaragua reaffirmed her country's commitment to work with the Philippine government in strengthening the excellent ties between the two nations anchored on friendship, solidarity, and respectful cooperation. In response, President Marcos Jr. expressed his appreciation towards the ambassadors and further stressed the administration's willingness to look for more avenues to bolster the strong partnership of the Philippines with the Dominican Republic and the Nicaragua that will benefit the nations.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday accepted the letters of credence of the non-resident ambassadors of the Republic of Belarus and the Republic of Malta to the Philippines in a ceremony at the President's Hall in Malacañang Palace. In their short remarks, Ambassador Raman Ramanuski of the Republic of Belarus emphasized his country's readiness to continue cooperating with the Philippines in various areas of mutual interest, marked by a spirit of friendship. These include trade, food security, science, education, visa facilitation, and multilateral cooperation, among others. Likewise, Ambassador John Basutil of the Republic of Malta said over 13,000 Filipinos are currently working and living in the country, and they have been beneficial to the growth of the European nation. Ambassador Busutil hopes to further intensify this kind of cooperation and other areas of mutual interest as Malta and Philippines are set to commemorate their upcoming 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations in 2027. In response, President Marcos Jr. conveyed his warmest gratitude to the ambassadors and underscored the existing strong cooperation with the two nations to continuously serve as a basis to ramp up diplomatic ties of the Philippines with Belarus and Malta.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday welcomed Ambassador Florence Buerqui Aconor, then resident ambassador of the Republic of Ghana to the Philippines, as she presented her letter of credence in a ceremony at the President's Hall in Malacañang. In a brief message, Ambassador Aconor expressed her gratitude to the President and vows to continue elevating the partnership between Ghana and the Philippines. In response, President Marcos Jr. reassured the government's commitment to work with her country and hopes that the ambassador's diplomatic duty will signal the start of good things that will benefit the people of both nations.
Dateline Malacañang.
The supply and demand reduction strategy of Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s anti-illegal drugs campaign has greatly improved the Philippines' fight against prohibited narcotics. This was emphasized by Department of Interior and Local Government or DILG Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. as he spoke before global leaders attending the 33rd session of the United Nations Commission on Crime, Prevention, and Criminal Justice in Vienna, Austria. Recognizing the administration's successful campaign against illegal drugs, Abalos said the supply reduction efforts have seized around $587 million in prohibited narcotics in the first 2 years. He said the figure is 700% increase from previous years, noting the improvement was achieved with minimal loss of life. Because of the project, the Philippines has seen a significant decrease in drug-related cases as the government upholds the importance of holistic crime prevention approaches rooted in community engagement and wellness. Abalos also said the administration of President Marcos has committed to enhance the criminal justice system and crime prevention strategies in the Philippines to foster peace, harmony, and a rules-based order through international cooperation. He said the Philippine government remains committed to multilateralism as fully expressed in its bid to a non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council for 2027 to 2028. To effectively implement those goals, Abalos said the government continues to take significant steps to enhance the criminal justice processes, which include the introduction of the reasonable certainty of conviction standard by the Department of Justice or DOJ in pursuing criminal cases. He said the government has also empowered the country's prosecutors and other law enforcement agencies, particularly on its active participation in investigation and the build-up of cases before they are lodged before courts. He said they are also told to enhance its cooperation with law enforcement agents. He emphasized before the UN Commission that the Philippines remains resolute in a fight against terrorism and preventing and countering violent extremism. The Philippine government is also committed to eradicating human trafficking and human smuggling as they gravely violate human rights and an affront to the dignity of all. Abalos said the Philippines actively implements various programs in the prevention of trafficking, protection of victims, prosecution of offenders, and partnerships with different national, regional, and international organizations. Before concluding his speech, Abalos said the Philippine government is concerned about the rapid increase of cybercrime, including online scams, data breaches, and cyber attacks. Abalos emphasized that a united global front is essential to effectively combat transnational crime, corruption, and terrorism in all forms and manifestations. He stressed that a safer and more just world for all will be created by fostering international cooperation, providing technical assistance, and strengthening legal frameworks.
Dateline Malacañang.
The world is assured of support in its battle against terrorism from the Philippines, led by Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Under the leadership of President Marcos, the Philippines remains resolute in the fight against terrorism and preventing and countering violent extremism. Such pledges were made by the Department of Interior and Local Government or DILG Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. when he delivered his speech during the 33rd session of the United Nations Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice in Vienna, Austria. In dealing with terrorism, Abalos said the Philippines is calling for global cooperation. Abalos said the Marcos government seeks strengthened information sharing mechanisms between law enforcement agencies as well as regional and international cooperation and collaboration in combating terrorism. Aside from terrorism, the administration of President Marcos can also be relied upon on boosting international efforts to counter illegal drugs. The supply and demand reduction strategy of President Marcos Jr.'s anti-illegal drugs campaign has greatly improved the Philippines' fight against prohibited narcotics. Recognizing the administration's successful campaign against illegal drugs, Abalos said the supply reduction efforts have seized around $587 million in prohibited narcotics in the first 2 years. He said, the figure is 700% increase from previous years, noting the improvement was achieved with minimal loss of life. Because of the project, the Philippines has seen a significant decrease in drug-related cases as the government upholds the importance of holistic crime prevention approaches rooted in community engagement and wellness. Abalos said the administration of President Marcos has committed to enhance the criminal justice system and crime prevention strategies in the Philippines to foster peace, harmony, and a rules-based order through international cooperation. He said the Philippine government remains committed to multilateralism as fully expressed in its bid to a non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council for 2027 to 2028. To effectively implement those goals, Abalos said the government continues to take significant steps to enhance the criminal justice processes, which include the introduction of the reasonable certainty of conviction standard by the Department of Justice or DOJ in pursuing criminal cases. He said the government has also empowered the country's prosecutors and other law enforcement agencies, particularly on its active participation in investigation and the buildup of cases before they are lodged before courts. He said they are also told to enhance its cooperation with law enforcement agents. The Philippine government is also committed to eradicating human trafficking and human smuggling as they gravely violate human rights and an affront to the dignity of all. Abalos said the Philippines actively implement various programs in the prevention of trafficking, protection of victims, prosecution of offenders, and partnerships with different national, regional, and international organizations. Before concluding his speech, Abalos said the Philippines government is concerned about the rapid increase of cybercrime, including online scams, data breaches, and cyber attacks. Abalos emphasized that a united global front is essential to effectively combat transnational crime, corruption, and terrorism in all forms and manifestations. He stressed that a safer and more just world for all will be created by fostering international cooperation, providing technical assistance, and strengthening legal frameworks.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine National Security Council, or NSC, welcomed the results of a recent survey showing Filipinas supporting stronger military action and diplomatic approach to the West Philippine Sea, or WPS, issue. Citing results of the Octa Research Tugon ng Masa survey for the first quarter of 2024, National Security Advisor and NSC Chair Eduardo Año said 73% of respondents want the government to prioritize military action when there are threats to the country's territory and sovereign rights. Meanwhile, 68% of survey respondents support the ongoing modernization of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, to make it more capable of protecting the country against foreign aggression. The poll asked respondents about the measure that the Marcos administration should prioritize to effectively address the issues related to the conflict in the West Philippine Sea. Based on the survey results, the NSA said the Filipino people understand that there can be no peace without security and that there will be no security without peace. Anyo also stressed that the Philippines' military modernization is not only for military defense purposes, but also to upgrade its readiness and capabilities to conduct humanitarian assistance and disaster response operations. He also appealed to the Senate and the House of Representatives to support all programs to fast-track AFP modernization, to allow the armed forces to fully focus on territorial defense and secure the territorial integrity of the country.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine National Irrigation Administration, or NIA, said that farmers could increase their profit if they capture the value added in palay or unhusked rice through contract farming. At the Bagong Pilipinas Ngayon public briefing, NIA Administrator Eduardo Guillen said the program is not limited to providing more affordable rice to consumers, as it could also benefit farmers if they become entrepreneurs. Guillen explained that farmers under contract farming are prioritized in the distribution of farm equipment, particularly the rice processing system of the Philippine Center for Post-Harvest Development and Mechanization, or PhilMec. On average, the value added from palay production to rice milling is worth 37 pesos per kilogram. Under contract farming, farmers can secure income even at the farm gate price of at least 20 pesos, considering that the cost of production only ranges from 13 pesos and 90 centavos per kilogram to 14 pesos and 20 centavos per kilogram. The production cost is slashed through government support, which includes the distribution of seedlings, fertilizers, and mechanization. Guillen meanwhile said a contract farming program would continue to be rolled out with a new batch targeting farmers not included in the registry system for basic sectors in agriculture. Earlier, the Department of Agriculture confirmed the President's instructions to expand and implement the program in the upcoming wet season, planting to make more affordable rice available in the market. In August, the NIA is set to sell 100 million kilogram of rice at 29 pesos per kilogram in Kadiwa stores in Metro Manila, Cebu, and Davao.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Government Service Insurance System, or GSIS, has allocated 1.7 billion Philippine peso in emergency loans to provide assistance to its members and pensioners affected by rabies and El Nino in 13 areas nationwide. Over 77,000 affected members and old age and disability pensioners are expected to benefit from the program. Members and pensioners with an existing emergency loan balance may borrow up to 40,000 pesos to clear their previous loan and receive a maximum net amount of 20,000 pesos. Those without an existing loan may apply for up to 20,000 pesos. The loan features a low interest rate of 6% per annum with a repayment period of 3 years. Qualified applicants include members who are residing or working in Buena Vista, Marinduque, where rising rabies cases have been reported and several locations affected by El Nino, including Catbalogan City in Western Samar, Cordova, Naga City, and Toledo City in Cebu, Iloilo City, Buena Vista in Guimaras, Bayawan City, and Santa Catalina in Negros Oriental, Antique, Basilan, and Dato Piang and Sultan in Baronguis in Maguindanao del Sur. To be eligible for the emergency loan, active members must not be on unpaid leave, have no pending administrative or legal cases, and must have made at least 6 monthly premium payments prior to application. Their net take-home pay should not be less than 5,000 pesos as required by the General Appropriations Act. Meanwhile, old age and disability pensioners must have a net monthly pension that is at least 25% of their gross pension. Borrowers may file applications through the GSIS Touch. The deadline for the submission of application is on June 7 for Luzon areas, May 31 for Visayas, and June 1 for Mindanao.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine Department of Tourism or DOT Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco on Tuesday highlighted the need to implement significant upgrades in airports outside Metro Manila. Frasco said services and facilities in developing such secondary gateways as Cebu, Davao, Iloilo, and other areas with the potential to become international gateways should be improved to further boost the country's tourism industry. She noted that the DOT, in collaboration with the Department of Transportation, has already made positive developments, such as enhancing terminal facilities and introducing a layover program to attract transit passengers. However, she said significant upgrades are still needed to enhance operational efficiency. She also pointed out that the National Tourism Development Plan 2023 to 2028, which has been approved by Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., emphasizes the need for the improvement of infrastructure and connectivity in the tourism industry. The Senate panel, presided over by Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri, was convened to discuss the malfunctioning escalators, elevators, and air conditioning systems, as well as the status of PPPs at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport and other international airports in the Visayas and Mindanao.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that is all for today's Dateline Malacañang for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This has been Bea Gaza.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.